Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnak here. We all thought that we'd have a bit of a break after the IPL, which went over two sections. How many games was it? 60 odd games. Then we had some 42 plus games of the World Cup, and we thought it was all over, didn't we? We thought there'd be no more matches. Well, two or three days later, we're back again. We're back again with another series, and it's involving two teams that have played together in a World Test Championship earlier this year, when New Zealand were the victors, I should say. And of course, on top of that, we had New Zealand just losing only a matter of days ago to Australia in the T20 World Cup final. So both New Zealand won a World Test Championship, and then lost a World Cup. India lost the World Test Championship, and they didn't make the semi-finals of the World Cup. So it's been a pretty tumultuous period for both teams, good and bad. India have now changed quite a bit of their leadership. Ravi Shastri is no longer coach, as we know. Rahul Dravid is there, and Rohit Sharma is now captain at this point, especially in the T20 realm. Certainly he's the captain. He has now taken over. Kohli has still got the ODIs and tests, but at this point we have Rohit Sharma as captain today and Rahul Dravid. So we're just going to see whether there's anything notably different. And so I'm saying I look very fresh though. In fact, I'm a bit sleepy. How's the Ashes going on? Am I kind of palm? Well, of course, there's a lot going on there. I've been publicising a lot about the makeup of the Australian team there with the selection of Usman Khawaja, which is a great reward for him. He deserves it, and will either open the batting or will bat five. Marcus Harris looks like he may get the opening spot with Warner. It looks as though, obviously, Labuschagne and Smith will go 3 and 4. 5, I believe it'll be Khawaja. Head shouldn't be. He was dropped, don't forget. And so it's Wade's completely out of the squad. Head's back in, but not the main player. Khawaja's number 5, I'd say. 6 is probably going to be Cameron Green, Mitchell-Marsh, even though he had T20 form. George Bailey talked quite highly today about the fact that George Bailey said that Mitchell-Marsh's form was fantastic in the T20 format, fantastic, but he's not an automatic selection for the Test arena at all at this point. So again, I'll go through the batting line: Warner, Harris, Labuschagne, Smith, followed by Khawaja at 5. 6 will probably be Cameron Green. 7, Payne. 8, Cummins. 9, I'd say Stark, Hazelwood, and Lyon. Jai Richardson seems to be back in the frame as well. Michael Nessel, I think we're going to go. What's going on with the ECB? Well, we're going to talk about the racism side of it a bit later. I'm hoping to have Gurkhardt Gill on. It's one of the topics we're going to be covering today before this T20, is the whole discussion on racism, especially through the ECB in Yorkshire and under Joe Root's tenure. It's interesting. Why is Cameron Bancroft being left behind? Is he still playing for the ball? Yeah, well, Cameron Bancroft scored a century, I think, the other day, but he's just not been in good enough form. That's all. He hasn't been in good enough form. As simple as that. It's not a matter of anything other than that. We had a lot of banter on the so-called circuit there, and we had some discussion. I had Simon Willis and Chris Vernon texting away, but of course they're not here yet. And we'll see what that. Khawaja needs to open, push him down. Well, yeah, Khawaja. I don't think it's going to be a big bad wherever he bats, quite frankly. You would think that they may even, it is a possibility that they might have Marcus Harris with Warner opening, and then you might have Khawaja first drop, Labuschagne second drop, and then Smith at 5. It's also possible, because Smith hasn't been exactly batting that well either in all formats. So, that might be. You say that is Australia actually showing Pakistan on Mars? Yes. No, it's a good question about whether they're going to take a rain check on the tour in March. No, I think they're going to go. They're committed to go. COVID was the reason why they didn't go the last test, don't forget, not any other reasons. So that's one of the things. So Yes. So we're in for an interesting day today. We'll make a judgment call as to what is that going to happen regarding the reality is I can't see I really can't see New Zealand doing well. New Zealand a bit shell shocked. They're just coming for a T20 series. They're without Kane Williamson, I believe. Kane Williamson's not playing there. I don't think he's going to be a part of it. So I'm just curious as to who's going to captain this New Zealand side, as a matter of fact. It's going to be an interesting one. But yeah, lots to talk about today. No Kane, no pain. Well, that's pretty true. Simon Sharp, I can see you joined us. I do think we're going to have a bit of a lull. This is going to be a little bit of a lesser competition. I can't see it being as overwhelmingly charged as what we've seen in the past, because it's just simply not. It's not going to have the same spirit you would think. So Star Sport in the European Post, I just noticed. I'm not sure what they're posting, but look, we've got an incredibly action. Southie as captain, is he? Okay, well, I'll confirm that. That looks like it may well go. So, would you say so? Australia, to me, where's this go? This is some. It is amazing. Oops. There are things going on here. Okay, so Norman Southie is captain according to reports. Well, that's interesting because I don't know. Let's going to start road. It says we've got a discussion on road to 2022. T20 World Cup begins as New Look India host a weary New Zealand. I don't know that I actually sort of realise that I'm actually live on YouTube, so I can't talk. Ciao. Okay. Okay, you're watching the show, are you? Okay. So do not demote. On television. I'm live on television. Okay, sorry. All right. So the road to T20. Okay. New Zealand will be without Williamson, Trent Bolt, Conway we know because he broke his hand, and Lockie Ferguson. Well, then he'll ponder on a sixth batter. So they're a couple of the talking points at this point. So who will be the sixth batter on the side? For God's sake, Pandya shouldn't be there. Payne said not everyone from the Australian team is going to be willing to watch over their shoulder by being in a Pakistan tour. No, I don't think. Match timing is actually at 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, which is now another hour and roughly about an hour and 20 minutes away. That's the game time will start. So it's about 12:30 my time, at 7 p.m. Indian time. Okay. So we're in a situation where, quite frankly, there's going to be certainly. So again, New Zealand will be without Williamson's captain, which is a big blow. Bolt and his bowling is amazing. Conway, well, he was already out for the World Cup, and Lockie Ferguson. So they've got a few outs. Southie's captain. So they're talking about a big picture here. On a short list of things you would least like to do after losing a World Cup, finally is to play a traditional rivalry, turning out on a different time zone, a mere 3 days later to play another series. So New Zealand can't afford to think of that. They're basically in a different time zone playing another series immediately. India's already been home for some time, and they're pretty much acclimatized. So Would a straight defeat in the Ashes might be paying Langer's career for good? Well, there's no doubt Langer's probably going to end his tenure in May next year either way, and Payne would probably be his last as well. And it'll lead the way for a lot of potential. Labuschagne, the same might be captain. I doubt that. In fact, I think the captaincy will come down to, well, Pat Cummins is currently the vice captain, and I actually think that they'll look for a new captain altogether. Curtis Patterson's there in New South Wales, captaining now. Queensland's Khawaja, possibly one of those two could be the captain. You never know. And then thirdly, Jason Sanger, who's yet to emerge from New South Wales. They're my three picks. Quite frankly, Steve Smith shouldn't be. That's retrospective. Dave Warner won't be. We know that. Pat Cummins is a very good deputy. They're saying that he should be the captain. But bowling and captaincy, I don't think that's a good mix, especially fast bowling, opening bowling, so to speak. I think they're going to go with a Curtis Patterson from New South Wales, so he gets put back in the side. Well, Usman Khawaja's there now, and he has won a Sheffield Shield here, equivalent to a Ranji Trophy or a tour of England that is a part of the county system, similar to that. So why not put Khawaja as captain Queensland? He might be a very good choice. When will you be able to smash sixes like Cummins and Stoke? I don't know. Will India versus New Zealand series be broadcast in Australia? Well, that's a good question. I haven't actually checked on that one. I could find out what's going on there. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's just have a look. I'll find out very shortly whether there's anything on Foxtel. Well, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Shouldn't you play three spinners or two spinners today? I think they should probably pick three, although they might be talking about whether they're going to have a sixth batter, which would imply only two spinners. That's the question. But Robert Sharma is going to be captain, so we'll see a different style of things. At the moment, we've got the WBBL strikers, back page. Not looking like there's anything at this stage, although it's a bit early. We'll follow that and see whether it's live as well. It may well end up being like Kevin's on side. So in terms of the lineups for today, let's say, well, the form guide's interesting. India's basically won the last three, but lost the first two. And then those first two, of course, were probably against New Zealand and Pakistan. New Zealand have won 4 in a row, but lost the one that counted the final. Rohit Sharma, of course, is in team news. India will have to decide on whether they're going to put a sixth batter in amongst, and they'll pick from Shreyas Iyer, Ruturaj Gaikwad, or Venkatesh Iyer. One of those three may well be the ones to come in for Kohli. So Shreyas Iyer, Ruturaj Gaikwad, and Venkatesh Iyer. While Shreyas was the incumbent before his injury in the first quarter of the year, Gaikwad has been on form since the second leg of the IPL, so he might be the best option. Venkatesh Iyer also had a great second leg, and he has batted at 5 and 6% regularity for his home state of Madhya Pradesh, so that might be the option. And it's these businesses need to look at, given a surfeit of options at the top. Pure form favours Gaikwad, even as the all-round option is Venkatesh, while Shreyas Iyer has experience of batting lower down for and doing well against England. Amongst bowlers, playing three spinners gives India great batting depth, so that's possible, as we said. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is the most experienced seamer, so the team might want to stick with him ahead of Avish Khan or Harshal Patel. So a possible Indian side, we'll talk more about that. Rohit Sharma, captain and opening about with KL Rahul, is T20 format. Ishan Kishan at 3, so virtually the replacement there for Kohli. Although, yeah, okay. Then Venkatesh Iyer, Shreyas Iyer, Ruturaj Gaikwad will be the 4. 5, Surya Kumar Yadav. Obviously, Pandya is out. Rishabh Pant keeping. Akshar Patel, Ashwin, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, Mohammad Siraj, and Yuzvendra Chahal suddenly returns to the fold as well. So New Zealand were already without Trent Boult and Evan Conway. We talked about that. We can't count on Lockie Ferguson being fully ready yet. On match leave, they've lost Cameron Williamson as well. That does leave them a bit thin in the batting. It could mean someone like Cole Jamieson getting a go ahead at a mill to provide that all-rounder status. So the New Zealand side, as far as what we're seeing, Martin Guptill with Daryl Mitchell, They've opened well for their World Cup performances. Glenn Phillips at 3. Well, that's a bit of a jump in him in the batting order. Mark Chapman, maybe the one to come in. Tim Seifert. Wicketkeeper at number 5. Obviously, Conway up. 6, James Neesham. Mitchell Santner still on the side. Kyle Jamieson. Tim South as captain at number 9. And Adam Milne or Lockie Ferguson, probably Milne. And Ish Sorty. So it's not a bad New Zealand side, even though they're without Kane Williamson. And you would expect India should smash them, especially on home territory. The ground, of course, is let's have a look at the ground. Of course, this is in Jaipur, beautiful part of India. So they didn't show a talk about like bat first and lose. Exactly. There was a lot being talked about at the toss. But look, even though the toss may have had an influence, yes, 12 out of 13 matches in Dubai were won by the team who won the toss and elected to bowl that second. But still, you've got to win the game. You have to still play the game. You can't just discount it outright and say it's the pitch or the toss or anything like that to blame. 2 teams have to play a game of cricket, and they're both batting and bowling. Realistically, I'm not exactly certain that you can just knock it out by that. And the fact that the teams that lost are talking about the toss being the relevant part, well, then bloody win the toss then. What more can I say? You can't knock that. It's something that happened. It's one of those situations where, you know. So Ayan Malik Chowdhury I'm in Jaipur currently. It's 16 degrees weather here. So that's freezing. Is Disney Plus Hotstar available in Australia? No, it's not. Not that I'm aware of. I've not seen it. Or at least I haven't got it, but I haven't seen it. This is a part of the network that goes with Amazon. I don't think and Apple. They're the only possibilities that might have taken it, but yeah, not much chop going on there. So, guys, if you're on the show today watching, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you a cent to subscribe to my channel, and it would be great to be able to support what I'm doing. And here I am, probably one of the few people that are actually broadcasting so soon after. It's a privilege to do it, but wouldn't mind some help. So yeah, there's certainly been. I've put out enough T20. Bring on the test, please. Yeah, we will. It's not far away. There's actually 2 tests coming up, isn't there? I'll look at those dates in a moment because that's of interest. Bahram Irani's joined us. What's been the general reaction in Australia on including Indian women cricketers? Well, they've played pretty well. Sydney Thunder aren't doing as well as they should. They've lost their fast bowling Shabnam Ismail, and they lost Rachel Haynes, including some White guys. But the Indian girls have been welcome. They're in almost every side. Smriti Mandana's been good. The comp's been pretty strong with them there. So that's been a good reaction to that, certainly. Pretty impressive, actually. Nothing wrong with having them there, and it's great to see. Hopefully we have a women's IPL. We didn't do it this year, did we? Yeah, that's disappointing because that's a great addition to the women's calendar. I frankly haven't been watching women's cricket that close this year because my girls are not involved. I had one just ring me 2 seconds ago live in Lakshya De Silva. She's actually in Zimbabwe at the moment. And Lakshya De Silva is with her team in a qualifying process for next year's World Cup, which is being held in New Zealand. I think it's in March. But at the same time that Australia go to play Pakistan in Pakistan, which will be another one exciting. And Usman Khawaja, look, if he plays well in this Test series again in the Ashes, he'll be then likely to play against Pakistan in Pakistan. What a great reward for him. The Pakistani background, playing for Australia in Pakistan would be great to see. And look, Usman Khawaja may be a future Australian captain. No, but nobody's talking about that. So KO is showing game in Australia. Okay, KO is effectively Foxtel. So if KO is showing at Foxtel, we'll probably see it. Yeah, so Smriti Mandana, she's a good looker for sure. So is Shripali Ramkoti, who's been on the show many times, guys. You know that. And was a great bowler in her own. She got Smriti Mandana quite Harmanpreet Kaur. She got it very often too. Would you be travelling to India, Australia's next series in India? whatever format that might be. Yeah, look, up until now, I didn't go to the World Cup. It would have been pure hell to get there in such last-minute fashion. No quarantine when returning. So when it's free of all the quarantine issues, I'm going to be going. Marcellus is not better than Mitch Stark. No, Marcellus is, in my opinion, a steady bowler, but not impressive. Jai Richardson's more likely to come into the team. And it's been talked up quite a bit already. I uploaded an interview. Did you see that, guys? Do you see my interviews today? I had obviously Pat Cummins, George Bowe, the selector, and Jai Richardson's all been uploaded. So they're there. Waiting for a Venki Iyer show, Norman. Yeah, I would like to see that too. Or Gaikwad also is good value. Tesh, how are you? I'm very good. Burham versus Vernon Sledge match, no disqualifications. Well, Burham's here. Chris Vernon was passing on commentary today, which I thought was hilarious. It was quite nasty. So Burham's going to join shortly. So there was a tweet that Chris Vernon actually put on our Instagram page, our WhatsApp page. In the recent T20 World Cup, teams winning the toss had a big advantage. We know that. Chasing teams won 22 out of 33 matches since the Super 12s, with the due factor playing a huge role in night matches. At Dubai, the venue of the final, the teams bowling first won a whopping 12 out of 13 times. That's pretty. I want to find this Ajinka. What's this person's name? Ajinka Dundare. Let's have a look who he is. Had a cool talk to Chloe Amanda today, or yesterday. She looks like she's keen on joining the program. I'm also going to get, we might see Adam Holyoke return as well. And I think we're also going to see, who is the person I'm going to get? Dunbar, there he is. It's got only a handful of people. Let's see what this. So it's right in the. Yeah, this is the one that I wanted to show. I'm going to upload this. This is of some interest. So there's a fair bit going. Why are you sweating profusely or good? This World Cup was more about who had the best line. I'm not sweating profusely. Who said that? I'm not sweating profusely at all. Look, you can't talk about who won. The facts remains we have teams that have won and lost. Okay, there's a little bit of look at the scoreboard, guys. You can't talk about that whole thing anymore, really. That's one thing. I'm just posting it now. There's some very, very interesting aspects of this whole thing. I'm going to rethread that, retweet. We'll see more about that in a minute. I wanted to get a hold of that other. Yes, Brum, I got a ticket to the Gabba test. Aaron, you're going there, are you? That's good. I might have to cross to you, Arun Singh. Yeah, I can't wait to see Neil Wagner bowl as well. He'll be good value. Crowds are allowed at the Ashes, absolutely. There's no doubt. Although seated rather than, they have to be seated. They can't be standing, but that's not neither here nor there. So let's look at this big picture. New look. India hosts weary New Zealand. That's a bit of a nasty comment. Let's look at the probable sides here. There's a team news. So, yeah, so there's probable teams there. We'll just go probable size. So I'm going to be posting this guy because I think I like to see that up there. Okay. Why do they always have walking wickets after 70? I'm not sure what you're getting at there. I expected a few people to join here. Gurkha Gilsey would join. So the impossible side was put up. New Zealand are a bit of a mess, especially without Don't forget how many runs. How many runs did Williamson score in the final? 85. You know, big loss. There's a lot going on there. All right, so Hassan Ali, Shadab, Iman, Ralph, 8-9-10, all can smash. That's true. And you probably lack a bit of that. Pandya is gone, as far as I'm concerned. Should not be considered again. He's past his. He's lost. He's been given so many opportunities, but you never know. Someone might rock. I mean, Kohli might rock up and give him another chance, but he shouldn't be getting any more chances. So manage your high. So no, Gurkha, please. He is like a thicker episode. Always plays safe, no risk. Gurkha's fantastic. Turning out to be a very good commentary person. Indeed. Very, very good. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. All right, so again, I've just posted a few things, guys. You would see that. You like the picture of Kohli there? It's quite funny to see him in that format. It certainly is a. Let's have a look at it. Okay, so the 2022 World Cup is in October of next year, with Melbourne hosting the final, but also grounds like Adelaide certainly there. You know, even Geelong down south of Melbourne, southwest of Melbourne is also hosting a match. But yeah, what different role will Rahul Dravid play with experienced players? Rahul Dravid, he's a consummate expert. He knows how to handle the whole thing. So Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma obviously get along very well. Rahul Dravid's fantastic. His attitude is great. Vivian Lakshman's taken over the role that Dravid had as well. So Himanshu Chowdhury, hey Norman, how are you coming on your show after September? Congratulations to you. So for World Cup success, thank you. We need Baram versus Vernon Sleeves match now. It'll happen before too long. England are out of the question. England fell out like a whimper. They won their group stage just in the end. Australia and South Africa were on the same points. All three teams winning 4 matches and losing 1. That was remarkable. Australia were thumped by England. In fact, a toss they lost. Then Australia beat South Africa, not convincingly, relatively well. But then South Africa came out and beat England. How did that happen? And then England gave New Zealand no difficulty at all. New Zealand went through the final relatively easily, but they met a team called Australia who played out of their skin, whose momentum built up beautifully at the right time. Mitch Marsh is quite shocked us all. Matthew Wade played strongly. Even Steiners played well. Warner got player of the series. I would have given it to Adam Zampa. Or one of the Pakistani players, Rizwan and Babar Azam, probably deserved it as well. So New Zealand again are without Williamson, Bolt, Conway, and likely to be Ferguson, and India ponder on 1-6 batter, which will probably be Gaikwad or one of the Iyer, Shreyas Iyer or Venkatesh Iyer. So it's going to be interesting to see what actually happens there between those players. And it's been a long season, hasn't it? And it's just starting up here in Australia with the Ashes about to come through. Obviously, India are already into it against New Zealand. So let's have a look at that now while we're talking. Let's look at the actual series, India versus New Zealand. Let's look at the way that it pans out. Okay, so tonight or tonight, your time in the morning of my time, the first T20 international between India and New Zealand is New Zealand's tour of India, is in Jaipur, November 17th. But then the second T20 international, again at night, is in Ranchi, which is, I believe, the hometown of MS Dhoni, and that happens on the 19th. So 2 days later, they move from Jaipur to Ranchi. Then the third T20 international in a row will be again 2 days later on the 21st, where in Kolkata, and I'm guessing that's Eden Gardens. So those are the three T20 internationals: Jaipur, Ranchi, and Kolkata get the berth for those three. Then we move into the two tests in Kanpur, and then the last is in Mumbai. I'm guessing Wankhede Stadium, or is it Brabourne? We don't know. I don't know. The first test happens on the 25th of November through to the 29th, followed by a test almost virtually straight after on the 3rd of December, my mother's 90th birthday on the 3rd of December, by the way. The second test in Mumbai, the 3rd to the 7th. So that's all happening before the Australian first test, which is on the 8th in Adelaide. No, not Adelaide, sorry, the Gabba. So you're playing 3 T20 internationals and 2 test matches before we can play our first Ashes test match. So it's quite action-packed. So we're literally finishing the last day of the test between New Zealand and India, straight into the Australia-England Ashes test series the day after, which we hope to have a lot more people on. So Munchie's joined. Shastri, India will win unless we have a more even balance, less toss to pit. Yeah, I think they will get that, of course. India win all formats because of Munchie. I'm not sure whether Munchie's got time to come on. Munchie, do you want to come on? It's up to you. So we are looking at, again, 3 T20 internationals. First one tonight in Jaipur. Second, 2 days later on the 19th in Ranchi. 2 days later, again, Kolkata. Bang, bang, bang. 3 very quickly are on. Then straight into the first test match, only a matter of 4 days later from daytime in Kanpur. Not sure much about Kanpur's pitch. In Kanpur, so much Kanpur. So Kanpur, the 5-day test there, we'll assume that Kohli's going to be playing that much. And then the second test in Mumbai, a great interest there as well. All of that happens before December 7th, where we lead straight into the Ashes December 8th, which will happen in the Gabba, followed by an Adelaide test after that. And then you've got the Melbourne test and the Sydney test into January. And the 5th test will be, at this point, it's planned for Perth, but if it doesn't happen in Perth due to some COVID rubbish, which could happen in that state, we could see it in Hobart, Bellerive Oval, which will be interesting. So Munchie's in listening mode and abusing Reg. I don't see Reg anywhere. Banstead boy's not on the system, is he? He hasn't made a comment yet. No, he hasn't made a comment yet. So yeah, action, cricket of plenty. And then, of course, we've seen, well, I might just talk about the program for a minute there. So, okay, we've gone through 3 T20 internationals, followed by 2 tests, India versus New Zealand. Straight into Australian test series and Ashes test series on December 8th, where we've got at least 2 matches. The squad's been announced for that, which we'll talk about a bit later. Of course, you've got the Gabba and Adelaide, and that's where they'll be played. And the third test is at Melbourne. By that stage, India will be in I'm assuming, that India will be in South Africa at that point. So let's have a look here. Harshal Patel will debut for India tonight. You're guessing. They're not necessarily saying that. Okay, look at the series. Look at some series here. Of course, Sri Lanka are playing the West Indies as well, and Bangladesh are playing Pakistan. That's also going on. Then you have a bit later on, you have India versus South Africa. That's not showing at this point. Yeah, so yeah, it's interesting. So Sri Lanka are playing the West Indies. It's happening in Gaul. They're playing 2 test matches starting November 21st. So in a few days, we're going to see Sri Lanka versus West Indies and Gaul. In fact, both test matches are in Gaul. 21st to 25th, followed by the 29th to the 3rd. Fairly similar timing, a little bit similar to, not quite, but similar time to the matches which have been played between India and New Zealand. So, yeah, there's quite a few series out there. Bangladesh are playing Pakistan. That's happening on the 19th. That's actually T20 Internationals, 19th and 20th, both in Dakar, and then a third one in Dakar on the 22nd. So that's pretty much bang, bang, bang. And then they're going to a first test at Chattogram and Dakar on the 26th to the 30th of November and the 4th to the 8th of December. So, yeah, Bangladesh, Pakistan, India, New Zealand, and also West Indies versus Sri Lanka, they're all rampaging with test matches before we even get to our Ashes series. We were meant to play, of course, against Afghanistan in a test match in Hobart in the ensuing week or so, but that, I don't think it's been officially called up, but it looks like it's been postponed. Yeah, that was due to the women's treatment in Afghanistan. Australians said no to that, and they're not playing Afghanistan, which is a real pity. Australia should have played Afghanistan. Tim Payne would have played a test match on his home ground in Hobart there, and would have been good. So is JL going to continue coaching Australia after? I don't think so. I think he'll probably find that May will be end of his contract. In fact, Michael Clark thinks he'll resign even earlier than that. Interesting. So Cole Jamieson is out of the T20 series. Is that something I haven't heard that? So Kari, if that's the case, okay. England will thrash Australia. Beautiful drawings. Beautiful drawings. You don't actually make very beautiful drawings. It's like your picture of saying England will thrash Australia is a bit sketchy at best in terms of a drawing. There's a few pencil markings gone wrong there. England won't thrash Australia in the series. They may do very well, of course, with Ben Stokes there, but they won't thrash. No. Hallmark movies. Do you think the World Cup was completely biased on toss? Should their pitch positions remain the same? But yeah, well, yeah. In hindsight, I would agree with that. 12 out of 13 tosses at Dubai went to the winning toss maker, bowled first, batted second, they won. Fair enough. I do see that, but it happened. It happened. What if New Zealand won the toss or England won the toss? Would they have been happy in their matches? Pakistan won the toss. Would they have been happy? They would have probably not. They would not have commented on the very fact that this happened. So no, I'm not sure. Yeah, it happened. It's on the books. So Hassan Ali, Archer, Stark, Cummins, India needs that 6 hitting tail. They do. Well, if India can beat Australia in Australia without Virat Kohli, why not England? Good point. Good point. Good point. I just don't think England are the same as India. India were just fantastic. India were magnificent. India were just gun all that series. You can't knock them for that. They deserve it. Baramani. The only way it can be done is it's one day for the same time. One time bats, the next day same time after that team. But Baramani, I'm not going to watch a match over 2 days. Are you crazy? Are you drinking at home there, Baramani? What? We're going to play a game over 2 days? That'd be boring as hell. Oh my God, it'd be boring. Harsh Gupta, New Zealand can't win without Williamson. It's pretty true. Shul Kundwal, why Wadey isn't in the squad? He was the previous test squad. He was dropped actually from the previous test squad. So was Travis Head. Travis Head resurrected himself by playing well domestically. Matthew Wade played well in the T20s tournament, not for test cricket. And that's the difference. That's why Mitchell Marsh's not there. Cameron Green's yet to really perform well, but he's given the nod. Munchie, Satvik Bagaria, I trust India's batting more than I do our batting. Fair enough. Why? Munchie, since when has it got anything to do with trust? What are you talking about, a wife now or something? Or what are you talking about? Australia due will come or not? Due, what do you mean that? What they're due, who knows? They won the World Cup. The rest of you can squirm. The Indians, the Pakistanis, the English, South Africans, New Zealanders, you can all squirm. Australia won the World Cup. So England deserved to be in the final. They may have deserved to be in the final, they weren't. I deserve to be slimmer, but I'm not. So, yeah. No, Baram, actually, we want an alternate bat and bowl in the same 20 overs, each team getting 2 overs. Oh, now that's getting even more confusing. India winning in Australia as their batting, I trust more than England. Right. Yeah, well, the fact is, India played over was one of the best series ever, certainly in Australia. You know, a lot of teams was a renaissance for Indian cricket. And, you know, Virat Kohli wasn't there for the last few decades, but he had a major impact. So it was a magnificent effort by India. England, their batting lineup, Ben Stokes is going to help a lot. Immense help he will be. Root will bat well. But then we have to make sure that Dawood Malan, Zach Crawley, Rory Burns and Hamid all do their bit. Now, they all fire with Stokes. Of course, Anderson Broad getting older, but still good. Mark Wood is there. It'll be an interesting series. I don't think England will thrash each other, but it'll be interesting. Australia lost 5 series before World Cup. Yeah, they did, but they won the World Cup. Nobody's going to care that they got beaten by Bangladesh and West Indies. No one's going to care, are they? Because West Indies were atrocious in the World Cup. Absolutely horrible. And Bangladesh were very ordinary as well. Now, Bangladesh, the subcontinent conditions of the UAE should have suited them, but it didn't happen, did it? They played poorly too. They didn't win a game. So it wasn't just Australia. They got beaten by everybody. Toss or no toss. The best teams win the league. Lucky teams win the cups. Once we got the semis, it was down to luck. Aussie won. We just have to accept it. That's right, Munchie. It's totally complete. Look at look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. Look at the scoreboard. That's all that counts. Australia won. I'm not bragging. I mean, I've been very heavy on Australia. I thought Warner was atrocious. Wade was horrible. Even Mitch Marsh was pretty horrible. But they came together when they needed to in the final, and that's all he needed to do. T20 is a weird game. Anyone can win on a given day, and the best team on the paper always show. That's why it's so popular. True, but it's a game of cricket. No, Munchie, whenever England lost the toss at league stage or matches, they lost. Look, Pakistan went very, very close to betting Australia batting first. They probably should have batted. Should have won the match. No, Himanshu Chaudhary and Langer will not get an extended contract. I think he's made his own mind up now with all the harassment that he's copped. I don't think he will. I doubt it. The way that Michael Clark describes it, he thinks that he won't get it because he himself has now made up his mind. It's nice how Matthew Hayden, applauded his mate Justin Langer, fellow opening batter, with his efforts. So that was pretty impressive. Certainly. Yes, but now he deserves it. Well, yeah, they should have put Wade's shoe for auction. Wade's shoe, the one I was drunk out of. Ugh, why would it be off for auction? Well, would you buy it, would you? And the smelly shoe on your ankle, please be only a small shoe, by the way. I'm not sure what's going on with that. If you're joining this show, please subscribe. I haven't seen anyone subscribing yet. If you're watching, don't just watch, subscribe. Matthew Hayden, coach of New Zealand, Pakistan now. No, I don't think he's batting coach. And Verlander was the bowling coach. So there's no evidence of change there as far as that's concerned. Sorry, Munchie, but England's below average bowlers can be pulverised for breakfast daily. Ooh. Bolt took rest from tests. I don't think Bolt's taken the rest from, I think it's the other way around. I think Bolt's taken the rest from the T20s in preparation for the test, as has Williamson. So that's the latest we're hearing. So the toss, if I'm not wrong, the toss is about another, 13 minutes away? Does Jill also come into Australia? Not really. No, not at all. New Zealand has the upper hand in the series against them. I don't think so. At home? No, I don't think so. New Zealand, India's very revengeful at the moment for what's happened both in the World Test Championship and also now the World Cup. India lost the World Test Championship, didn't make the semi-finals of the World Cup. Who would have thought that? I didn't. Neil, what's the likely score we should be expecting for the team batting first tonight? Well, going on what's been going on in the World Cup, even though it's not the World Cup conditions, it'll be lowish. Jaipur, fairly untried. So it's a new look Indian host, weary New Zealand. Yeah, I think New Zealand something will be weary. It's a good photo there of Khawaja. That's the big discussion point, really. Kohli's not playing. He probably needs a break. There's nothing else going on. I don't think there's anything else going on with that Kohli playing. What's this whole thing with this? There's a great picture there. So Khawaja ahead. Bailey hasn't answered, but he's just the very fact that Bailey's said he's chosen person is going to be Khawaja. Khawaja's been quite consistent the way he's played, so Khawaja deserves to go. Good for cricket at Khawaja. He's an elegant player. Very elegant player. So the match starts in 41 minutes, guys. 41 minutes. The match starts in 41 minutes. We should see a toss in about 11. And we'll talk about the team now a bit as well. We need Mitchell Marsh like all-rounder at number 6. Well, yeah, in T20 perhaps. I don't think you're going to necessarily see that. Yeah, Mitchell Marsh not going to Guernsey ahead of Cameron Green at this stage. And Wade won't get ahead of either Payne or probably Alex Carey, or for that matter, even Inglis. So, there's a bit going on there. So, all right, let's have a look here. Let's have a look here what the story is. As far as the Indian side is concerned, I think the possible side that we've talked. So I've got some live and pre-match show here, and I've got some pre-match live. Okay, your Australia got Sarsball from India connected to Australia. It's true. He didn't take part of it because of embarrassment. No, that's not true. I skipped it. Just going to pop the Foxtel situation here. See what's going on. Oops. So the Foxtel's got it coming up. And any test series with India and all, we should be able to watch it, shouldn't we? Mission Impossible. No, they're saying strikers versus scorchers here. The girls' stuff's on. Jazz versus 76ers. F1 Mini in Brazil. Open mic, top Tom Boyd, the back page. And there's no evidence of any. The grand final between Melbourne and St George's, bloody old, 20 years old. Fox Sports News. Well, it's not even played at this point. Maybe it's coming up later, guys. All right. So Kyle Davidson and Kane Willis are not playing. That's because they will be focusing on playing test matches. Dependent on the format, Oakes is a class bowler, but as a length bowler in T20, it's liability later. Same with Willie. Great with new ball. Curran and Jordan can be dodging. Any news on England players 11 for versus in Brisbane? No, there isn't any at this stage. Interesting enough, they haven't even gone close to announcing. But look, Butler should be back in, but Bairstow, you got Maury Burns and Hamid there. Zach Crawley will come into play. Milan will come into play. Ben Stokes clearly will be. Keeping wise, whether it's Stokes, whether it's Bairstow or Butler, Ben Folkes is not there, so it'll be one of those two. Then you've got the bowling of quite a few. Anderson, Broad, Ollie Robinson's there as well. I think Mark Wood's there. Spinners, well, that's going to be the next question. They won't be putting any spinners on the Gabba. Maybe in Adelaide. So that's where we'll end that discussion. But no, England haven't made any murmurings about who they're picking, which is okay. There's no rush. So no New Zealand Indian captain playing. Good point. Both captains are out. The squad is in Oz now. The team at Frago won't be announced until the morning of the first test. Oh, that's a bit late. Mahmoud John has just said there's no point for anyone to win this. Well, there's pride at stake, guys, and the points. No one gives some tips for India to getting to 6-hit tailwinders. Well, look, Mohammad Shami can hit a ball. Jasprit Bumrah can hit sixes. We've seen them in test matches. They've done very well. Why can't they convert to the short format? No reason why they can't. See, Hardik Pandya was one they put all the promise on. Didn't perform. Rishabh Pant, to me, is the person that really is probably the one they should have more from, and he didn't produce, unfortunately. So they need to back some players. I mean, no one gave Mitchell Marsh much hope before the series, nor Wade was. I bagged him no end. Everyone did. And Stoinis was in and out of form. He was injured with his hamstring. It looked poor, but they came together when it counted. Who was responsible for that? Was it a Langer situation? Probably not. I think what Langer's done with that is he's just taken a step back and let the players play. Let them take charge of their own destiny. He wasn't as hands-on or as controlling, and it works. I don't know whether Justin Langer can continue to be like that for the rest of his coaching career, but he decided in the T20 hats off, gloves off, and let them go. In the Indian case, Rahul Dravid will be probably a little more like that too, actually, which is interesting. And Rahul Sharma will be a different kettle of fish in the T20 format. Kohli probably was a bit too heavy on the team, as Langer has been with the Australian team. I think that's the criticism. Kohli's probably been a bit too hands-on. India has only lost 3 T20 series at home in the last 10 years. So, yeah, that's a good stat. It tells you that, they're going to win this. Without Williamson, then New Zealand aren't going to be at all. And Southee's not a bad player, but I don't know whether he's the best of captains. Yeah, I mean it. The amount of players being held for rent is ridiculous. Look, I'm tired. I feel like I need a rest. We've only just come out of this, so I'm not surprised. The players have actually had to fly from a heavy quarantine schedule in Dubai, and all of a sudden they're in India playing. That's pretty hard for the New Zealanders, I'll tell you. Indian players, well, they need a bit of refreshing up too. I don't blame them at all. Nothing to say against that situation. So 5 minutes to go, guys, before the actual teams. See, I'm approaching it like an IPL or a World Cup match here, and the team is deciding the toss. I don't know whether that's significant. India, Uttapa's Indian 11 for the Jaipur T21. Okay. Gaikwad or Venkatesh Iyer, Harsha or Axar. It's actually Aaron Finch's birthday today. Happy birthday, Aaron Finch. He certainly got a big birthday present a few days ago, didn't he? India only lost 1 test series at home, which was against England. Your prediction of the upcoming Ashes, Uncle Mike. Before Ben Stokes came through, I thought Australia would win 3-1 with a draw perhaps in amongst it. But now it's going to be very close. I think it'll be 3-2, but it'll come down perhaps to the last test, which will make it extremely exciting. At the Gabby, you would think Australia will go ahead early. Adelaide, I think England have got more of a chance there, and Melbourne. Sydney, let's just say it could well be 2-1. It could be 2-1 after 3 tests in favour of England and Australia coming back in Sydney, winning that, giving them a 2-all situation with the 5th test decider. If it's Perth, it'll go Australia's way. If it's in Tasmania, it could go England's way. That's how close it's going to be. Quick Legends, you're bored, eh? Well, that's your problem, Quick Legends. Why are you bored? You're not talking. The game's about to start any minute now. So, yeah, I'm going to say, first Gab, listen to my words. First test match, Gabba, Australia. Second test match, Adelaide, England. Third test, Melbourne, England. So they'll actually go 2-1 up. Then the 4th test will be in Sydney. It'll be Australia. That'll make it 2-all. And then the 5th test, if it's in Perth, it'll be Australia winning. If it's in Tasmania, I think England could do it. My sick, I've just got a bit of a cough list with them, nothing serious. Even Southey and Sodhi can smash 6, so that's true. when India hosted Aussies, won T20, and now Aussie will host, and you know what happens now. Australia lose. That's probably, not unlikely. Is that match streaming in Australia? Not at this point, it's not. Well, I'm assuming the toss will come up very shortly. There's a lot of discussion about I'll have a quick talk about the next, the series is a continuation of series going on that I've talked about. Let's have a look here. I did put that up before, guys. It was a while back now, but I want to talk about racism with Gurkha Akil. He's not here. He's not well, apparently. Just trying to scroll through and find that particular graphic. Here we go. All right, so we have the toss. The toss coming up yet? The toss is due any second now, guys. Okay, so what we have is a set of series here. This is in Jaipur, of course, this match. So in 2023, we all know that we've got the 2022, we've got the World Cup in Australia. And in 23, this National Series. When will Chris Lynn get a chance in Islam? I don't know, Yash Campbell. I think he should have already. Why the IC need to get back the Champions Trophy? Why stop it in the first place? It's a great point. There's a confusion. Okay. So in 2024, the T20 World Cup will be in the USA and West Indies. 2025, the Champions Trophy will be in Pakistan. 2026, India, Sri Lanka will be hosting the T20 World Cup. Then in 2027, it's the ODI in South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Namibia. That's 27. Oh, I'm going for that. 28, it's Australia, New Zealand got it back again, the T20 World Cup. And then 2029, we've got India's hosting the Champions Trophy. And then 2030, my God, that's a long way away. T20 World Cup, England, Ireland, and Scotland. And then the ODI World Cup is 2031, India and Bangladesh. Quite a mixture. Okay. Matches in England and Australia are interesting to watch. No, they are. Okay, we've hit the 30-minute mark. Are they going to keep to their time slot with the selections here? Let's have a look. Okay. It's about allegations of racism within Yorkshire County Cricket Club and also after allegations in other county teams. And that comes under the ECB's control. Neither Sharma nor Bhuvi bring in young blood. Abhishek Sharma, okay. Is that what you think? I'm just waiting on this. Well, they're saying that Venkatesh Iyer is making his T20 debut. This is the word I'm hearing. India have won the toss and have chosen to bowl. That sounds familiar. India have won the toss and have chosen to bowl. Not field, bowl. There we go. India won the toss, and that was obviously not Kohli. That was Robert Sharma, better tosser, and elected to bowl. There we are. So there we go. There we have it. So Venkatesh Iyer looks like he's getting his debut, they're saying. Let's have a look at that. India won the toss and elected to bowl. Okay. So the toss is okay. Aspires have come up trump. Venkatesh Iyer has just been handed his cap. That's a big move. So there we have it. Every star player is bound to go to RCB. Oh, that's not the right way. Let's have a look here. So Venkatesh Iyer has been given his cap. There we have it. It's good to see Venkatesh. He looked great. He's beaten Gaikwad there. He's beaten Shreyas Iyer. Yeah, that's correct. So Venkatesh Iyer has just been handed his cap. Rowan hands it over to him in the team huddle. That's a really big deal. He must be very honoured to say. Waiting on the full teams. Not far away. Yes, so Venkatesh Iyer has just been handed his cap, so he's definitely. Is there any ICC tournament in 2023? Well, 22, it doesn't look like there is because the Ashes is on 23. I don't think there isn't any. I'm not aware of anything managed on there. So, yeah, David Warner might go to RCB and Mitch Marsh is sure to go for $2 million this time. Well, yeah, you'd think so. Warner might go to RCB. Warner's going to go to one of the new venture clubs, either Lucknow or the old Gujarat Ahmedabad combination. Impossible? No, it's not impossible, I'm afraid. So yeah, there's a lot going on there. I'm waiting on the sides to be shown. I just don't know where the sides are. Why the teams aren't being shown. Slow on the uptake, aren't they? Yeah, we're not really sure. I mean, like Venkatesh Iyer. So over World Cup in 2023, I don't think there is one. I'm not aware of one. Maybe someone else can tell me. Go ahead. Any idea who's organising this T10 tournament? Who's starting from it? Gale might be playing there. That's this. There's an ultimate cricket challenge with the K. It's just all pretty ordinary, guys. It's a bit of an overkill. It's all about money. The T10 tournament does not go to wash. It's far from the appropriate way to handle it, if you ask me. I'm just not sure. See, Test cricket and cricket in India has certainly brought back a bit of a rush. Any idea who's all right? Okay, so the T10 tournament's not, worth. I shouldn't say worth spitting on. It's certainly not yet truly an indication of what's going on. So let's have a look here. India chose to bowl, not field. Please don't group us all into the same bracket. So what about Stark playing foreign T20 league? What about him? At the moment, it's far from my thoughts because the Ashes is on, so I don't know whether there's any need to talk about that. I'm not seeing the sides aren't there. I don't know why they're not showing the sides. I don't know if there's any other evidence of an ICC. I'm not getting. No discussion of it seems at all. What other ones would I use? Would I use the BCCI, ICC. What else will I show those? Yeah, I'm not getting their sides yet. No punt in Test squad. Your thoughts? A clout cricketer, you saying that's what you would like to see happen? Well, Ishan Kishan certainly could be given a go, or Rahul himself could keep. So would Joe Root be a major perpetrator here, or would ECB brush it? I don't know. I don't think they're going to have a chance to brush on Iran because it's become very public, very, very public indeed. Blocked him a long time ago. Much nicer now. Who? I, with 80 plus strike rate and 50 plus average, will make up for punt, don't worry. Shimanth Deb, hey, Norman, hi. India has to blow out New Zealand, but it doesn't look like that. Stereotype is distant and reading. Yeah. Or did I miss the I want punt? So they're saying that Shreyas Iyer is back. Venkatesh makes his debut. Siraj, Deepak Chahar, and Kumar are there. So the non-mention of punt being out. 3 spinners, 2 spinners, 6 batters. Venkat is an all-rounder. Tim Smith is named as standing captain. Confirms that Lockie Ferguson is back, along with Todd Astle, Mark Chapman, Amrachan Ravindra, Nishan Williamson, Sodhi, Milne, Bolt, all rest in the week. Okay. So there we are. So there's been a few changes there, as expected. Let's not fool ourselves. This is not something that should shock us. So Shreyas Iyer and Venkatesh Iyer are both back. Let's have a look at this. Okay. So I'll repeat that. Dropped or rested. I don't think I think rested is the right word. Shreyas Iyer is back. Venkatesh Iyer debuts. Siraj, Deepak Chahar, Bhuvaneshwar, Kumar are back in. 3 spinners or 2 spinners, 6 batters. I'm not sure what that means, but Venkatesh isn't seen as all-rounder. Okay. Tim Southey, the New Zealand stand-in captain for Williamson, who's out, confirms that Lockie Ferguson is back, so over Adam Milne, along with Todd Astle, Mark Chapman, and Rachin Ravindra. I don't know much about Rachin Ravindra. And Isham Williamson, Sodhi's obviously out. So Milne all rested in the wake of the final. Okay, here we are. We've finally got the teams. Okay. The New Zealand team is Guptill Mitchell opening the batting, Glenn Phillips at 3, Chapman at 4, Seaford at 5, Rachin Ravindra at 6, Satner 7, Southey 8, Astle, Ferguson, Bolt. So Bolt is actually playing. We were told Bolt wasn't playing, so that's a bit mixed up. That can't be right. They're saying Bolt is playing. I thought he wasn't playing. There's been a rest for the test matches. I can't imagine Trent Bolt resting himself in test matches. So there's the New Zealand side. So there is a correction that Trent Bolt will play. Okay. Bolt is playing. Well, that strengthens New Zealand's chances somewhat of Bolt's playing, I must say. Indian team's a bit slower coming up. Deepak Chahar will strengthen the ever-weak tile of the Indian. True. Didn't Rafiq also okay, I don't know. Some weird comment there. I'm not sure what that's all about. What is that supposed to mean? Okay. Landing on the Indian team to be showing up. And they've talked about who's in and out. I want to see a final side, the Indian side, to be really short. It's a bit strange to see it not being shown. Alex Hale's named his black dog, Kevin. Where is Sodhi? Sodhi's rested. What's your opinion on Dravid as coach? Fantastic. Shastri was also fantastic, but Dravid's also. So New Zealand side, yes, we've got that manager already. with Guptill, Mitchell, Mark Chapman, Glenn Phillips, Tim Seifert, Rachin Ravindra, Sanders, Sally as captain, Astor, Ferguson, Bolt. Okay, we're waiting on this Indian lineup to be confirmed exactly. It's been discussed, but hasn't been confirmed. Yeah, so we've got some 17 minutes before the game starts. Nice and pleasant to see. India team minimum criteria to get should be you should have an 80+ strike rate. Like say, I kind of agree. I would agree with that. It's going to be just a bit interesting to see whether we get the Indian team up. It's funny, the New Zealand team's well and truly up there. Okay, here we go. Indian team. Rohit Sharma's captain and number 1. Rahul. Sky, as in Surya Kumar Yadav, at 3. Shreyas Iyer at 4. Rishabh Pant is playing. He's 5. Venkatesh Iyer is below him. Then Akshar Patel, Ashwin, Bhuvneshwar, Kumar, Siraj, and Yuzvendra Chahal are playing. So Ishan Kishan's not getting an outing based on the fact that India have decided to put in both Ayers into the squad. There you go. So let's go through that again for us, guys. So Rohit Sharma at 1. Hi, Jyoti Krishnan. Kohli is not boycotting this match. He's not boycotting any match. So probably it's out of respect that Kohli's not playing to give Rohit Sharma the freedom of captaining without him being present. I can get that. So it seems that Ishan Kishan won't be getting an outing just yet. Here's the full Indian lineup. As I said earlier, Rohit Sharma and Rahul opening, with Sky Yadav there at 3, Shreyas Iyer 4, Rishabh Pant 5, Venkatesh Iyer 6, Akshar Patel 7, Ashwin 8, Kumar 9, Siraj 10, and 11 is Deepak Chahal. There you go. There's your sides, guys. It's all settled now. Yeah, so it's good to see. That's a pretty strong set of sides, really. There's nothing untoward about those sides at all. But it was curious that so look here. No, they're certainly playing this match live. I've got it live here. Not started yet. But Fox are playing this game live, and they're showing some replays of what looked like a earlier match. The match between New Zealand and India in the World Cup, where New Zealand won by 8 wickets, with Will Emerson scoring lots of runs. It's quite ugly. Over live stream starts in 5 minutes. Yeah, so that's I have it also on Foxtel. So there you go. His colleague quitted. Kohli's no longer the captain of the T20 format for New England. And the live stream starts in 13. Well, the live stream started here. So India in that match was 710, and New Zealand were 211. Bolt 3 wickets, 32. Southey and Milne 1 each. High scores: Jadeja 26, not out. Pandya 23. Rahul and Rohit. Bowman took 2 for 19. So they were 2 for 11. They were quite frankly beaten quite handsomely there. But that's not, I don't think it's going to happen here at all. Let's have a look here. No. The Ashes begins Wednesday, December 8th, but by the time the Ashes starts, before the first ball of the Ashes is commenced there in the Gabba between Australia and England, India will have played 3 T20 internationals and 2 Test matches against New Zealand. Amazing. West Indies and Sri Lanka will have played their series basically, and also Bangladesh will have played Pakistan. So there's a whole host of cricket coming from everywhere else but Australia at the moment. There is no one like Sehwag in the history of Indian cricket. Yeah, that's probably a fair point. Do you want me to go ball by ball, guys? Are you keen for me to continue on, or are you more keen on just watching it for yourself? It's now 12:18 at night. Okay. Remember Pandya's 1920 World and Africa Test, and Pandya is gone. Pandya is, by probably his own admittance, is gone. And rightfully so. Gurkha Gill was supposed to talk with me about racism, didn't come. And Bahram said it'd come as well. But I've lasted an hour and a half here pretty well. So, on the basis of these teams that have been selected, I think India will win, and win quite handsomely. Pandya's gone. And second, deservedly so, will be, hopefully it will play very well. He's a lot to play for. Shreyas Iyer and Yadav also a lot to play for. Akshar Patel a lot to play for. Deepak Chahar has also got a bit to play for. So a lot of the players really going to be out there gunning for a big effort, I would argue. So yes, I'm watching live on Fox at the moment. Share some highlights of that India versus New Zealand World Cup match, which was pretty awful for India. I should have done better than that. I'll tell you what, I should have done better than that. Toto bye-bye. I'm not sure what you're saying. Okay. So we're 10 minutes from the start of play. Look, India got a lot of good things going on. They've got Kumar and Siraj Chahar, Ashwin Patel, great, and Venkatesh Iyer can bowl a bit too. Rishabh Pant. Hi, Michelle. Know your views on stoners and why drinking shoes celebration. They won. I don't really care, but it was pretty awful. Yeah. But it's an old adage. It's what I used to do in the old days. Because when you win a World Cup, you can do whatever you like. It's okay. I don't necessarily see it as bad. So Jaipur, lovely city. Hema Mahal, I remember that was wonderful. That whole Jaipur was the orange forts. It'd be nice if the ground had a background of orange forts. It'd be really nice. They should have batted first. Who? No. It's Kohli. It's not Kohli. Captain's it's Robert Sharma, who's probably going to prove to be a much better captain now in the T20 format. As we saw, the second second T20 international in Ranchi in 2 days' time on the 19th. Third T20I Kolkata on the 21st. First test in Kanpur and the second in Mumbai. 25th, 29th, and then December 3rd, December. Big stuff, this guys. Big stuff. What is the temperature there, What in India or here? Here it's pretty warm, about 20 degrees past midnight. It's now late spring. Head to head, New Zealand is slightly ahead actually, but I think India are going to level that up today. Pistol's green. Jaipur should be orange. And Rohit Sharma flicked the coin and they won the toss. And Southie, your captain, not a bad player. I don't know if he's the right captain anyway. So Guptill, Mitchell, Chapman, Phillips. There's a lot of Chapman, Phillips, Seifert, pretty ordinary. Ravindra's barely played. Sanders pretty ordinary. Southie's okay. Astle, Ferguson, Bolt. So very ordinary New Zealand batting line, except for the openers. You'd have to think that, and they won the toss too. They're very mentally ready for that. And they should have hosted the series in the UAE. I think they wanted to get out of there quick smart. They were there for long enough. Rohit, Rahul, Sky, Shreyas Iyer, Punt, Venkatesh looks good. Axar will be keen. Ashwin will be keen. Bhuvi will be keen. Chahar will be keen. Siraj will be keen. Very, very motivated Indian lineup, if you ask me. A lot to be said of that. Fair crowd there with masks, which is interesting. Seems like a fair crowd. This is Jaipur, rather interesting location. No, but compare every cricket, domestic, international sense. Okay. We've got the umpires coming out with the match referee together, and both teams are walking out. So there's a bit of ceremony about to take place. No Coley, no Williamson. Very unusual to see both of them out like this, to be honest. And they're playing, we've got 6 minutes to go. They're playing a little bit late. Oh, I'm going to get a drink, guys. Just bear with me a second. I'll get a drink. While this is happening, I'm going to do a bit of banking. Oh boy. Yep. Have you heard about the news that Pandya's watch costing around 200,000 US seized at the airport? No, I didn't hear that. Who wrote that? Where have you heard that? I didn't hear anything about that. Let's have a look here. You can compare domestic and international. Yeah, you can. It's not good to do that. You're right. Okay. Let's look here. Foxtel. So mainstays. Okay, I think you're going to see some interesting form here. Not initially because New Zealand are batting. Showing the Indian anthem there. Venkatesh looks quite strong. Pandya is getting paid too much money for doing very little of late, I'm afraid. Very popular guy, very, photogenic. Well, Sharma must be pretty happy. I think it's an important step for him. He's now taking over the captaincy of the T20 side for his country, having done very well for Mumbai Indians over a number of years. Axar Patel smiling from ear to ear. I'm expecting Rohit Sharma to blast. Shahar looks good. Trent Bolt was supposed to be, I thought, having a break. Looks like a very pretty ground, actually. So we've got Mitchell and Guptill. They must be thinking, oh my God, not again. Tendulkar, Kohli, de Villiers, Uri, so I'll take it. Yeah, domestic form usually shows international form. George Bailey had a big discussion about Travis Head and Usman Khawaja, and I hope Usman Khawaja gets the Guernsey. He deserves it. So Darren Mitchell, a bit of a revelation in the World Cup. Did very well in the semi-final against England. Didn't quite replicate that in the final though. Martin Guptill, huge career in T20 internationals. He scored 3,000 plus runs. Always been very capable. All right, let's go. How was the Aussie media reaction to Shitton? Oh, they didn't mind it too much. Shocking because they maintain the same average. Average, right? The players can perform domestically, they perform internationally generally. And they went to toss and chose to bowl. That's the correct way of saying it, not feel. So we started. Here we go. First Pate TM T20 International, and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is opening the bowling. Probably misplanned a bit in the. Interesting how he's playing this match and he didn't play in the World Cup. Anyway, how was Aussie? I can't tell. Shoot done was fine. You got a single there, second ball. Seems like a decent amount of bounce. Good throw. I think it's very impressive effort back in India. Kuma looks like a little boy. Oh my God. Mitchell out first ball. The ball has come back in and just taken his stumps. Rather there. First ball there from Mitchell's gone. Ball's cut back and bowling comprehensively. Oh, came in beautifully. Mitchell had no idea. First ball, shocker. I got a feeling New Zealand's going to fall over like a pack of cards here. Now they've got unknowns coming in left, right, and centre. Chapman coming in. I know very little about his batting. I'm afraid we're not going to see too much of it. Well, DRAVID, good way for his team to start. Ball certainly has cut away there. Beautiful delivery. Came back beautifully and just Mitchell had no idea. They missed Kuma, I think, in the World Cup, didn't they? Certainly did. Ferguson's back. Nothing better than having India at home, I think. Oh, that ball certainly didn't. What? So Guptill survived. So did Chapman. Who's coming on? Deepak Chahar looks like he's coming on. Of course, you got Ashwin, Axar Patel there. You've got Siraj coming up first change, probably. Rowan Cole, yeah, they're pretty much just super, that's for sure. Replying to someone while they're online here. Good length Very, very good length here. Yeah, the teams are pretty. Okay, both captains have gone. Williamson's gone, but Coley's not gone from the captaincy. He's left the captaincy, so he's out of the team though. What about shot by shot? Aussie won the T20, New Zealand won the Test, England won the ODI. How is any of that superior power? Aussie won the T20 International, yes, and didn't make the semi-final. That's true. But New Zealand won the Test, World Test. India were against them. England won the ODI as well. Yeah, he's a beautiful delivery. Can't complain. You just play a very good ball. Is Coley out for the entire T20 series? We know that he'll be playing the Test matches. Well, Sharma seems to be very vocal. And Chapman's playing quite aggressively there. No, it's not a bad shot. So Dominic Cork, really classic. What's Dominic Cork, who's an Englishman, commentating on a New Zealand India match? A strange one. Ball's gone way past them. Oops, we have an internet connection problem here. It's back on. I just see that needs some Wi-Fi, that's probably why. Chapman's looking at the goods. Yeah, they could even be secures in the folder. ICC World T20 ranking, India world number 2. After the World Cup. Okay. 48 and 282. There it is, the Hema Mahal and Jaipur there. Beautiful building. I've actually stood up on the. I was across the road, maybe across the road looking at it. Been to Jaipur once. The Agra Jaipur.
Hello, Norman.
They're showing the Hema Mahal in Jaipur.
Yeah,
I like that.
the Hawa Mahal, right?
Hammer Mahal.
Yeah,
Have you
Palace
been in
of
Jaipur?
Winds. Yeah, I've
Have you
been
been
to
to
Jaipur.
Jaipur?
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. Where did you used to live again in India?
I go. I'm in India like once every year for a couple of
No,
months.
but where did you live?
Live Pune,
Okay. But
but I
you
was
traveled around.
for my job actually for 1 year. I was in training very close to Jaipur. There was a city by the name of Kotputli, so we used to go to Jaipur a lot.
Wow.
I don't know if you've been there. I don't know. Have you been to the Rat Temple over there? Have you
Yep.
seen the Rat Temple?
Yep.
That's something very unique and nice to see.
Certainly is. I mean,
Karni Mata, if I'm not wrong.
I did the triangle. I did the Jaipur, Agra, Delhi.
Okay, that's nice.
I stayed in them. I had a great time.
Many, in fact, foreigners tell me that out of if they when they've traveled all over India, they find Jaipur to be the best, or Rajasthan they find it to be most unique and they like it.
I would agree. It's right up there. I mean, it's beautiful. I was quite. I had a good impression to start with, but I was quite surprised.
Okay.
I think looking at this match, I think this India's going to romp home. Don't you?
Honestly, for me, Norman, it's like becoming an overdose of cricket. I don't know for you.
What?
It's we barely came out of the World Cup and like already like my
It's
my
weird, isn't it?
yeah. Today I was talking to my wife and I was telling there's India New Zealand. So she's like the World Cup got over, right? So what is going on now? I said it's a new. I said it just. So
But then
she was
all
also
the thing.
like,
I mean, my God! Before Australia played the first tests against England, India New Zealand will have played two 20Is and three 20Is and two tests. Bangladesh play Pakistan in two tests. West Indies play Sri Lanka in two tests before we even have the first Ashes test. There's a
when
big
is the
gap.
first Ashes? It's on 25th November, right?
December 8th.
8th of December. Oh, okay.
3 weeks away. But of course, there was meant to be a test match between Australia and Afghanistan next week, but that's not happening now. I haven't heard anything official about that, but you know, I'd say that there's no match being played.
I remember that the official was that it has been postponed. They did not cancel it, but it has been postponed.
I think they've kept it very quiet because they know it was quite a dramatic situation, and quite frankly, it's quite volatile. It's quite a slap in Afghanistan's face as well. I don't know whether the cricket team needed it. I think they should have been a bit more reasonable about it. Wouldn't have affected anyone to have it. Would have been a good thing. There's more people viewing this match than there were some of the World Cup matches, I'll tell you. I think Indians switched off the World Cup after India lost, to be honest.
Yeah.
But Usman Khawaja
matches were getting too predictable also, Norman. It was like who won the toss, who's bowling, they would win. Like it was really that predictable. See, you are talking scoreboard and all that, but it was really that predictable. The only way that team batting first would have won was if they scored more than 190. That that was yes, they had some chance. Below 190, it was really no chance.
I think Pakistan did a good job. They almost beat Australia, didn't they? Siraj's bowling now.
Say that.
Did you see the Bhuvaneshwar's bowling?
The bowl.
That was a magnificent delivery.
Yes. Surprising he did not bowl that way during the first match against Pakistan.
Yeah,
the match against Pakistan is bowling had no teeth at all. Means like I don't know what was it that again the dew factor that everybody is talking about.
The worst thing that India could have done was play Pakistan in the first match. If they'd played them later on, they probably would have beaten them. But early on, they banged
I
bang
would
New
still
Zealand.
say no, Norman. Even if they would have played later on and Pakistan would have won the toss and bowl, they would have still won.
Perhaps.
It was all a question of the toss. Literally, see, let us not, statistics are not that wrong also. You can see it from the World Cup. So let us not beat around the bush also on that.
This Chapman guy looks okay, doesn't he? Australia have got a kid called Hunt, who they're saying could be another opening batter for the future. I've never seen him play. I don't know where he's come from. His last name's Hunt. I think he's playing for Perth or like Western Australia, South Australia. I haven't followed his play. I've got to bone up and find out about him because he's in the Australia Ace team and they reckon that he's a chance of maybe playing. Should Khawaja open or bat 5 is the question. I think he should put.
But I was very. The only thing that most surprised me was the exclusion of Zampa. I found that.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's not like what, a test player or what? What is
There's no reason why he should be in the test squad. He really should be. I mean, Mitchell Swepson is bloody overrated. He's done nothing. He's had stress fractures of his back. How could you have a stress fracture of your back when you're bowling spin? What are you doing?
I think he must be Pukowski's brother.
Oh, God, that guy's unbelievable. Looks like he's out now. I think he's going to find it very hard to get back in now because he's had every opportunity to play. He's been meant to be playing the last 3 years in a row and he just keeps getting injured. Keeps getting hit in the head. What is he doing? Is he batting with his head? I mean,
it's the last match. If not with his head, he injured his shoulder while diving for the ball.
But I mean, when I batted, and I batted a lot of my early years without any helmet, right, against fast bowling, I never got hit because you know what? I watched the ball. When you don't have a helmet on, you know what? You watch the ball extra careful. When the ball's coming towards you like this, what you do is you watch it and you go like that.
You were batting. You were batting, or you were in the stands?
Batting.
Oh, okay. Just
when the ball comes through, like that, right? Australian players go like this. They get hit. I would never do that. I would go like this. Even if the ball hits you, you're better off getting hit here. You get less damage. It's there and the back of your head where the damage hurts most. If you get hit flush in the cheek, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to break your cheekbone. That's it. Get hit in the nose, you break
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, broken cheekbone, jaw, and nose. You won't die of those things. You'll be pretty sore, but you'll that's quite strong, that structure. But if you get hit here or there, why would you do this? You're not watching the ball, are you? When the ball comes, you go like that. When I was taught you moved out of the way. You went like this. That's batting 101.
And that also what happens, Norman, is like when you're actually turning your head, you're even stretching that muscle. So when the ball comes and hits you over there, it's the worst because your muscle is already stretched and the ball hits you.
You're not watching the ball. But you're not watching. If you go like this, you're not seeing the ball.
And your muscle is also under tension. So moment it takes an impact.
If someone's throwing a ball at you, you watch the ball. You don't go like that, do you? You go like this. You watch the ball. If you miss the ball, you get out of the way of it. The ball's coming towards you. You get out of the way of it. I'm afraid that's so batting 101.
Pukowski is injured again. So that's what I understand.
Yeah, he got hit in the head again.
When did that happen? I know he got hit so many times. But
as I said, he doesn't bring a bat out to bat. He brings his head. He hits the ball with his head.
Pukowski maybe needs to do some sacrifice to appease the gods or something.
But I'll tell you what, when he did bat, he was getting big double centuries. He was amazing.
Nathan Lyon is in the team, right? Nathan Lyon is there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Australian side will be Well, Marcus Harris looks like he's in. So if he is in that first drop, I would like to see perhaps Warner and Harris batting with Khawaja at 3, Labuschagne at 4, and Smith at 5. That's what I would like to see, but I don't think it's going to happen. It'll probably be Harris and Warner, Labuschagne, Smith, Khawaja, and then Green, Payne, and then the bowlers. And interesting, England haven't shown their side yet, but they've got a lot more strength than we give them credit to. Zach Crawley and David Malan will bat well in Australia. They're both experienced in Australia. And Ollie Pope the same, but I wouldn't say Pope. But I'd say Ben Stokes will bat high up in the order. That'd be great.
What about Hasib Hamid? Has he travelled?
Yeah, he's there. He looks like he's going to open with Rory Burns.
Okay.
That seems pretty certain. At least early on.
Interesting.
Ashwin's already into the attack. Chapman's doing okay. Guptill hasn't had any strike. This guy looks a bit. There's a bit of a comparison there to, you would argue, a little bit like the guy that died, for the Australian guy.
Phil Hughes.
No, the one that died.
Phil Hughes, right?
Phil Hughes, that's right. Sorry, yeah. Tell you what, he's playing similar shots. He's playing beautifully. Why have they hit this guy? He's batting very freely.
So what's the news on the coach, Australian coach, Norman?
Oh, Langers can quietly just be quiet now. He's just won a World Cup. But they're saying that Langer decided to have his hands off and stand away and not pressure the blokes like he normally does. Just walked away and let the players run, and it worked. He'll obviously be there for the Test series, but he's not going to go beyond May. And Michael Clark reckons he'll go earlier than that because he's not going to bother coaching any longer. I can't see Langer continuing, even though he's played. Did he play well? The team did. Was it Langer's responsibility that they won the World Cup? No. There's no way you can tell me that he won in the World Cup. But it's funny, in Melbourne tomorrow, all the players are in on the Gold Coast. All the players that are not in the Test squad, Aaron Finch, Matthew Wade, Maxwell, Stoinis, are all in Melbourne, right? And they're going to bring out the trophy to MCG and have a bit of a celebration. But George Bailey, who's the chairman of selectors, said, great, Mitchell Marsh played well, Stoinis and Wade, but that's T20 cricket for you, not Test cricket. They're worlds apart. And he basically said that Mitch Marsh, Wade, and Stoinis, he's happy for them. In the short format, they may still play a lot more, but they're not going to be playing for the Test cricket. And Travis Heads, who was dropped from the Test side, is back in the squad. But Khawaja's come through. And Khawaja's record stamp. Khawaja scored almost 3,000 Test runs and 8 centuries. Why wouldn't you have him in the side if he's batting well?
But what was any kind of test? Was Khawaja playing any Test cricket or just?
He scored 3,000 Test runs. He's played.
I'm not talking of his record. I'm talking in the last 1 year or more than a year. What cricket has he played?
2009 was his last Test match.
So what did he do in 2020 other than have his YouTube channel?
Domestic cricket, he played really well. He was the captain of the Sheffield Shield side in Queensland, and they won the comp. Okay. And this year, he's been scoring a lot of centuries.
Yeah, that's good.
He's been informed very consistently, so he deserves his call-up. Very much so. And I'll tell you what, New Zealand are 1 for 30 here. Guptill's gone nuts. See, what Guptill's just done to Kumar's bowling, walked down the wicket.
I think even if New Zealand scores 170 or 180, India will come over it.
It's funny how Rohit Sharma comes and they win the toss. I mean, you say winning the toss is luck, but you know what? I was always taught call heads, stick to heads, don't change heads, because inevitably you'll win half the tosses, right? So for Kohli to be losing the toss regularly, like 8 or 9 out of 10, means that he's changing what he's doing. Does that make sense? If you flick the coin up and you call heads, you're going to win 50-50 on average. That's reality. It's fact.
But even if you keep Norman, but even if you keep changing statistically, you're still supposed to win 50-50 also, because one coin toss does not.
No. If you start to chop and change what you're calling, if you had a run of outs on something and then you change, you could have a run of outs on that. It's possible because you're changing your toss. I was taught when you toss a coin, you flick and you call the one thing.
But the other thing is that he does not call also every time, right? Kohli does not call also every time.
No, but I'm just trying to say that you have to call the same thing every time you toss.
Okay.
That's what I was taught. You toss, you call heads. That's what I was taught.
Maybe he's calling the same thing and losing every time, and 50% of the time he does not call, which is again also losing.
You know who's ringing now?
Aparna.
Alan Malawi.
Yeah, get him on. Long time, no Alan.
I mean, no, he's. So far, I've had Nalakshi De Silva, the former Sri Lankan, no, not former, current Sri Lankan player who's in Zimbabwe, call me. Isn't it funny? I like to hear. And I've got Marley Esther, who's just messaged me too, a lovely lady from Sri Lanka. So I'm going to be going. I didn't go to the World Cup, but I'm glad. You know what? But I'm glad I didn't go to the World Cup.
Anyway, you could not have done anything, Norman. Like as I told you, like you were not allowed to take any. Even outside the stadium, you're not allowed to take interview. You know, Norman. You were telling me even outside the stadiums, you are not allowed to. Means you can't.
Yeah.
This is what I heard. So that's why many people actually did not travel for that reason.
Yeah, that's true. Did you see that photo? I had of Virat Kohli looking out the window in a plane. I don't know what he was trying to tell us by that.
Who sent you that picture?
That was on Virat Kohli's own page.
Okay.
He posted it about a minute or two earlier, and I immediately posted it. Oh, well, I'll tell you what, this Chapman's, is he 30? Where does he come from? He's batting very well.
Never heard about him. What do you feel about the test matches coming up?
Okay. The India-New Zealand test match, India will thump them, I think, at home. Okay. So Chapman's 30 off 27. Gee. Bangladesh versus Pakistan. Well, it's in Bangladesh, isn't it? So it levels the whole thing up. It'll be up and down. Probably an equal share. They'll probably share the points there. Sri Lanka and West Indies. Sri Lanka at home should beat the West Indies.
So Sri Lanka West Indies is also playing a test match. I thought they were only playing ODI or something.
No, I'm pretty sure there's test matches.
Okay.
They're playing 2 test matches to start with before they play the short format. And it's in Gaul. Both test matches are in Gaul. I'm very lucky. I got to play on the Gaul Stadium half a dozen times. I've played on Singalese Sports Club up in Candy, both Palakala and Asagiri. I've been very lucky. Played on some great grounds. I did 16 years.
Sri Lanka is a beautiful place, like.
Huh? Quick Legend saying Alan Mullally from. Should we get Alan on?
Yeah, I'm for
I'll get him on.
who knows, he might be a change man.
Let's just see.
He's based in Perth, right, Alan?
Yeah, he's in Perth. I spoke to Aparna earlier today. She sounded like she had a big night.
What happened? She's under the weather or something, Aparna?
Yeah, she's got some things going on. I'm just telling Alan to come on live. He's saying, Alan's saying I shouldn't laugh about him. I think when they start contacting me, they probably know that we're alive. All right, so let's see if he joins.
And any plans for your mother's birthday, Norman? 90. She's getting in the 90s.
Well, we can't go to a disco or something, okay? So she went into a panic earlier tonight. She lost one of her hearing aids. She was like she lost, and it was right under her foot. But it was a massive panic.
Okay.
You're still not doing okay here. Oh, he's ringing me. No, don't ring me. Don't ring me. I'm not going to talk to you.
Maybe he has problem connecting. Who knows?
But if I'm live, he shouldn't be ringing me.
Did you tell him you're like
Changed man? Baram, you have a brilliant sense of humour. What's Quick Legend say? Quick Legend said before he was bored.
No, he is referring to the comment that I made about Alan, that who knows him. I told he might be a changed man.
A changed man.
Yeah. What are the sentiments in New Zealand, Norman, like after losing?
Oh, look, New Zealand, they are very humble bunch of people, except when it comes to rugby. They'd be very, very happy that they, I'd be pretty proud if I was them.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like the people, like every time we come in the finals and we are losing, that means their media or people are not upset.
A friend of mine's got dengue fever. It's terrible. A friend of mine's got dengue fever. It's terrible.
Where, in Australia?
No, in Sri Lanka.
Okay. Even said at dengue, right? Like last time when we spoke, he said he hit with dengue.
What's that? Now I didn't get dengue fever. I got chikungunya.
Okay.
So she's just sent me a photo of her leg, with a tube in her leg. It's not good.
Okay.
If dengue fever can be quite serious, can't it?
Yeah, dengue. You have to be follow the instructions and those things very well.
Because it can have
chikungunya is actually something very similar to dengue, if I'm not wrong.
Chikungunya is different because that affects all your joints. Whereas dengue fever, I don't know whether it's joint related necessarily. I've had chikungunya. I've had it. Have you ever had it?
No.
Every joint, everywhere. All the joints in your fingers, your feet, your knee, your hip, your neck, your shoulder. It even feels like you got joints on your eyelids. Everything, your jaw, every part of your body aches, and you sit in a ball like this for a good 4 days. Then you come better, and then it takes 3 months before. Here we go. You ready? Alan Mullally. Jesus.
Hello, how are you, Norman?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good.
We've got you met Baram. You know Baram, don't you?
You have, yeah. And
Hello,
just quickly,
hello,
it's
Alan.
been a tough
Good
few
evening.
weeks.
Yeah.
My mum has been suffering from this thing called hay fever. Good Lord.
Oh.
She was
Why,
sneezing and
Baram?
coughing.
Baram, why am I not getting you on Facebook when I put your name in?
I'm not on Facebook.
That's why.
So how are you, Alan? Hope you are all fine and taking
Yes,
care of
I'm
your mom.
really, you know what? I'm really well. I've been. Here's the deal, right, Norman? You know this. See his face here? I'm not going to shave for about 14 weeks.
You're not going to shave for 14 weeks.
Nope. You know why?
Why?
No shave November.
You can't quite see there, but you can't quite see on here. That way. The gym, Norman. I've been hitting the bloody gym very, very hard.
What, lifting weights or?
Massive weights, like I used to when I played for my country. So my game plan is to be 104, 5 kilos, 9% body fat in 14 weeks.
Well, I'm about 95% body fat and I'm too many kilos. I've got no idea. I've got no idea why. I've got absolutely no idea why.
What's your current weight, Alan? What's your current weight, Alan?
Pardon?
What is your current weight? What do you weigh right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Just bear with me, please. Oh, lordy, lordy, lord.
Just please had jaundice. What's jaundice? Is that?
That's when you start to go yellow, I think. Jaundice.
Yeah, but why?
Huh?
Why do you go yellow?
Hang on.
It's jaundice, if I'm not wrong, is caused due to maybe drinking contaminated, means some bad water.
Right.
Jaundice.
And you have to be very careful that you don't eat anything oily and when you have jaundice.
Just bear with me, please. I'm going to make myself a nice coffee.
Rum.
Yeah.
What are we doing? I think I've got jaundice now.
85.
I have got all three together. APR,
New Zealand the one for 59 here. This Chapman could get a 50. I think New Zealand are touching India up a little bit here.
Alan, what's your view on Australia winning the T20 World Cup?
Do you want me to put the lights on out here?
I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, just bear with me, Norman. How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. Alan, what's your view on Australia winning the T20 World Cup?
How's that? Is that any better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah,
I'm doing it via my phone. Hello.
No, Alan, question: what's your view on Australia winning the T20 World Cup?
You know what? I'm English. So, Norman, I'm sorry.
No, we had no idea.
I'm English. My money was on England. Oh, Lord. My money was really on Josh Butler, Stokes.
Well, he played well. He
I
played
really
exceptional.
thought
Sort of
England
central.
home and host. But then when New Zealand, I think it was the Kiwis beat England, I think. And then I thought, you know what, I really want to see. I always stay with bugger off. I've got loads of moths here, Rox. I'm growing. By the way, I know in your neck of the woods, Norman, Granny throw her tomatoes.
Hang on. Would you answer Baran's question?
Yes, I wish that New Zealand beat Australia. Is that all right?
Yeah,
I
I'm happy
wish
with
they
it.
wiped the floor with Australia because they lost
Didn't
the last
happen,
two
though.
World Cups. Thank God, Williamson played so well, didn't he?
Oh, his 85 was fantastic.
I tell you what, and I think he is dead right. A good friend of mine, Norman.
Yeah.
Shane Warne.
Yeah. Wow.
He's never rated Mitchell Starc, has he?
I'll tell you, Mitchell Starc was terrible. He got 50 off him.
God, I watched the highlights and it's gone dunk, dunk, dunk everywhere. It's like, what the hell are you doing, man?
Williamson took into the cleaners, literally.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. But he bowled the same pace. He didn't change his pace. That amazes me, really. Even Hazelwood was pretty impressive, actually. I was very impressed with Hazelwood.
I'll tell you what, I was massively impressed with, oh God, dare I say, was it the semi? The keeper? I should know this. I just watched the highlights. The keeper. What are you eating, by the way, Norman?
Nothing.
You said nothing or muffin.
By the way, you're a legend.
Cookies.
Yeah, thank you for that smile, you bugger. Oh, the keeper. What was he called? What's that?
Choc chip.
Cookies.
Low fat.
Low fat, no sugar.
I tell you what.
Hang on. Put it this way: there's no fat, no sugar left after I eat it. I'll tell you.
No, fat and sugar goes together. I'm going to show you something, right? Just bear with me.
Okay.
That's where it lost in his house.
When Alan is online, we have a lot of bearing to do. Norman. we lose our bearings for sure with the amount of bearing that we need to do.
Is it raining?
Now, I did tell you that apparently in Perth tomorrow it's going to rain a lot.
It's raining in Jaipur, isn't it? What are they doing? Revive, that's great. They're putting in the super soccer. Is it raining?
Hang on.
And Alan Mullally, Baram asked you a question about 5 minutes ago. You still haven't bloody answered it.
Just bear with me, okay? While you eat your honeycomb biscuits.
What was your question again, Baram?
What's Alan's view? Like, since he being English, staying in Australia, what's his view of Australia winning the T20 World Cup?
So far, we've got absolutely no question.
And
answering.
Till now, we are just bearing with him. Where I can see him now removing something from his fridge or what?
Well, there's a rain break in the match anyway. New Zealand are 1 for 65.
How many overs?
10.
Okay.
It's a fair start.
So, Norman.
Alan, would you answer his bloody question first?
Oh, hang on.
Just repeat the question, Brian, please. Alan's obviously forgotten it.
Yeah.
Alan, my question is...
What is this? All right, good. Answer his question.
Okay, I'll ask a new question. Alan, are you planning to go to watch the Ashes? Means, have you purchased any ticket?
I've got a few contacts to go and watch.
There's no way Alan's going to be paying for a ticket, Baram, to watch Australia versus England in the Ashes when he played for England. If you can't get an invite to
Okay,
some
I'll rephrase
corporate,
this question. Are you actually going to go to watch the match?
Well, I live in Perth, right? It's the most remote city in the world. I think we've got the Ashes here. Normally in February?
The fifth match should be in Perth, right?
January, the 5th test.
Yeah, I think it's
But
January.
there's no certainty that it'll
the
be held
the
there.
game plan is, right, here's the deal. The game plan is for me and Norman next March, April to go to Bali with my mum and then to Delhi.
Hang on, we're going to
I've got
Bali.
loads of contacts.
Bali.
Yeah. I've got a contact.
I thought we
And
were
the
going to
reason why I
India.
look so tired, do you know why?
Right.
Oh, my mum was sneezing and coughing with hay fever. And Norman, I thought she was on the,
With the what? What's up?
I thought she was on the,
COVID.
way out. 83. But no, she's in bed and she's in great form. So the game plan is for me and Norman to do our thing during the summer, then hit India and Bali. And by the way, Norman,
I'm not going to. I didn't say Bali. When did I say Bali? Bali was never part.
Norman, what does that doer
just
thing
throw
mean?
stuff in there.
Two guys going on a vacation. What does doer thing mean? Is it something to do with Brookback Mountain, the movie?
No way.
I'm going to take Norman to
I'm not how's your
Bali. He
father?
can then go meet some bloody boys.
I'd have to be really, really drunk to be contemplating that, Baran. Very, very drunk. In fact, blotto is the word. Have you heard the term blotto before?
No, not heard blotto.
It means extreme. So drunk you don't know where you are.
Oh Lord!
Are they back on?
Because
what happened there? Was it raining? What happened there? What did they do?
Maybe too much of dew.
Oh, they got that. Put that thing on there.
Do what?
Dew, not do.
By the way, Norman. Oh Lord! The past 3 weeks, I've been hitting the gym pretty hard, and the past week, like really hard.
Chapman is 43 or 41. Guptill's 22 or 21. Score is 1 for 69. You watching it?
So what are you concentrating at the gym on? Like arms, the whole body, Alan? Arms.
This after I spent the past 18 months, as you know, with this Chinese thing, and no one knows, on ice cream. 2 kilos in the past 2 weeks, rock solid. Norman, 105 kilos within 12 weeks. And you, the same.
Sorry, did you go down to 105 kilos?
105 kgs, 103 kgs, 8% body fat.
It'll take me a month of Sundays to go anywhere near 130, let alone 105.
And you know what? I'm not shaving until I do it. 14 weeks.
And what's that? I mean, I had a beard before. It was not new.
I gave Mum the Irish handshake.
Tell you what, New Zealand's doing really well. Martin Gippels is in 6.
When you do the Irish handshake, yeah, I'm mostly half Irish. My word is my bond. So Norman,
are you getting fit for what purpose?
Are you coming back to playing cricket, or you're planning to register for the IPL?
I am 53 next year, man.
So
just getting fit to just get fit. To see you in India, my man. Hey, by the way, where is Meerut? Meerut.
Meerut. That's in Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh. That's near Delhi.
Close to
No.
New Delhi. It's not that close. Also, it's actually central part of Uttar Pradesh. Very close to Lucknow. I don't know if you know Lucknow.
There's an IPL team in Lucknow.
I know Delhi. I know Mumbai. I know Bareilly.
Bareilly, yeah, I would say it's closer to Bareilly compared
Bareilly's
to
like the
Delhi.
bloody Wild West.
Bareilly is a very small town in India.
Oh,
Capital.
Norman, listen carefully.
I'm trying to.
Bareilly is a very small town.
Right.
For
I live here. I come
compared
from
to
Perth.
for Indian standards, I know in Australia
I
when you
live
say
in Perth, we have like 1 million people. And Bareilly has 1 million people.
yeah, that's why I said for Indian standard because I know in Australia a small town is like 2,000 or 4,000 people.
Yeah. Bareilly's cool. On Facebook, I had a friend called Sarah Bambury.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a friend of mine on Facebook?
Bram's not on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
Because Bram's wanted in India and he doesn't want to be on Facebook. He's hiding in the Philippines because. Whereas I'm.
Well, you know what? Are you in the Philippines?
Yeah, Philippines.
Whereabouts?
In the capital, Manila.
Send me your address. I'll swim there. There's lots of good-looking birds there, Norman. I'll meet you there.
Hey, instead of Bali, you all should come to Philippines. It's more beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look, Philippines, Bali. I thought we were going to bloody India. Alan, what are we going to Bali for? You're going to take your 83-year-old mother to Bali. Why?
I don't know. I tell you what. Here's the deal. Next March, April. Let's go to
India.
the Philippines. Hey, Baram, is that you say Baram?
Yeah, Behram, correct.
Yeah, Baram.
But
yeah.
March, April, let me tell you, it's very hot. Huh?
That's right. I'm used to it.
Okay.
Do you have any friends who've got a yacht?
Oh, many. Yacht, private islands. You tell me.
Lordy, Lord. Norman?
If you like tuna fishing, I can set you up.
Pardon?
I like
said,
tuna
if you
fishing,
like-
but I like tuna fishing, but not on a boat. All right. I thought cigarettes are banned from television these days, but
On YouTube, it's allowed.
I
Not
tell you
on.
what, can I bring my mum and can Norman bring his mum? Maybe
my mother is turning 90 in a few weeks' time.
just me and
She's
you,
not
Norman.
going out in the living room.
Yeah, okay. Maybe just me and you, Norman. What do you reckon?
All right, guys, we're losing viewership here. We're losing. All right, New Zealand at 1 for 86.
Yeah, let's talk about cricket.
Oh, that was a magnificent shot from Chapman. He's just hit a 6. He's just scored his 50.
Who is this Chapman guy? Are you aware, Alan? Are you
No
aware
idea.
of Chapman?
Never seen him before. He's batting fantastically.
Who?
And Guptill's very happy with him. He looks
Chapman.
fantastic. 52 or 45 deliveries in India. First time I've seen him play. He's killing it. Where was he for during the damn not the IPL, during the World Cup?
Maybe shearing sheep. What else do they do in New Zealand? Either they play rugby or shear sheep or play cricket.
That's true. He just hit a ball beautifully through backward point. It's gone for 4. They're 96 off 12. They look like they're going to score big.
They were 65 of 10 and already in 2 overs.
Yeah, he's clobbering them.
Interesting. Norman, I'll have to leave you guys. Gotta go now.
Alan, I'm gonna cut off too. I think we've all right. So good to see you all again. Nice to see Alan. I'm going to bed. So good night, guys. All right, see you later, Alan.
Bye, Norman. Bye, Alan.
Thank you very much. Hey, Norm, stay online, man.
No, I've got to go. I'm going to go. It's 1:30 in the morning. I'm tired as hell. See you all later.
I'm not surprised. It's 12:30.
Okay. All right, let's talk later. All right, all the best, Alan.
You know what? I'll put on about joking aside, Norm, I'll put on about 2 kilos.
That's great. So New Zealand are 1 for 96 after what is 12 overs. Chapman's on 56 and Guptill's on 35. Amazing performance. Really impressive. Are they going to beat India? Well, it's going to be interesting. All right, guys. Well, so have you seen the I've been on air for 2 hours and 26 minutes. So
I know. Have you spoke to O'Shan? Or
no, I
Salad?
haven't. No.
You know why? They won't answer.
Why?
I've got some other bloke. Oh God, hang on. I need your help. Okay.
But not now. We're live. So I'll talk to you later. Okay. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
Ciao. Everyone. Bye. All right, guys. That's Alan's gone 1 for 96 after 12 overs. New Zealand are doing very well with young Chapman there. See you guys tomorrow or the next couple of days when New Zealand play India again. Looks like New Zealand are going to put up a very good fight against India. All the best, guys.